God doesn't take you through this process of healing and growing and developing for you to think that now you're not going to be used to impact people who are also hurting, right? And be able to see and understand. And so it baffles people's mind because they're like, if I'm healed, then I'm only going to meet healed people. I'm only going to be around healed people. And that's not,
I'm
that's
healed
not the mindset.
So I can show the healing power of God.
Correct.
I can exemplify the healing power of God. That even when you don't, when you don't deserve my love, I'm giving it to you because I understand love.
Hey there, I'm Ari, your petite but powerful Kingdom teaching professor and entrepreneur. I bring the sass, the laughs, and the serious, let's get real and heal moments without any filters. Now meet my mom, Pastor Dee, the #1 dunamis woman leading our Healing for My Soul movement. As a Kingdom teaching pastor and life coach, she is unapologetically real, raw, and radical, but she's our rock and the voice of wisdom that we all need. And then there's Allison, fierce yet tender, and the voice for many single mothers. She's the silent heartbeat of our family and will be the first to tell you, life with these two can be crazy, but I got their back and we're in this together. As a dynamic trio, we spearhead the Healing for My Soul movement, sharing the miraculous healing power of God through our journey, truths, and a little humor as we guide women to pursue healing as a lifestyle so they may experience freedom within their life and legacy.
Well, welcome to the final episode of this season for the Healing for My Soul podcast. I pray that you have been on this amazing journey. The whole theme of this was
emotional
healing.
Yeah, really understanding not only what emotional healing is, but what it consists of.
Yeah.
What it consists of.
And that's a lot of processes.
Yeah. And not just for us as women, but men as well. And that's why I'm glad that we had Jimmy on here to really talk about how men really suppress their pain.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And it's a journey, as we always say. Mm-hmm. Healing is a lifestyle. But as we have seen, even in a couple episodes, about women who really are trying to maintain now this healed version of themselves, right?
Yeah.
Now, I know you sometimes don't like healed ED, like it's a done thing, right? Because I feel like you're never done with healing. But I do think that there is something to where you have to maintain this new version of you, this healed version of you, this version of you that has grown and matured. And so really, do you see that being a struggle with women who are trying to now maintain this healed version of themselves?
Most definitely. Because we want to put the ED on it. I came to a healing challenge. I'm healed. I've been enlightened. Yes, I understand this is my daddy issues, or I had abandonment issues. I had this, and they feel good about themselves. They went to therapy, and I feel better.
Yeah,
they have been it's like a burden that they didn't even realize was weighing them down has been lifted. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So now we want to put the ED on there. But in this 30 plus years, Ariel, of doing this and being on this own healing journey for myself, I have seen so many come back after 5 years, 10 years, even 20 years, because they put the ED on it too soon and it set them backwards. You know what I'm saying?
Like you always talk about recidivism.
It's recidivism. It's inevitable if you don't keep doing the work. The part of it is really continuing your work.
Yeah.
Your work.
This is how you maintain.
This is your work, and the beautiful part is it's like now I'm really starting to not just live, but learn how to live. And that's the part that I have to maintain what I've already obtained and then discover more of what needs to be worked on.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And now you got to know how to not balance the two, but navigate the two.
So you don't have to find something to like, I have to heal from this. But I do love what I've learned in the Maintaining the Healed You is to not be naive.
Yeah.
To think that nothing else is going to come up against you. I think your eyes are now enlightened to truth, to understand that everybody needs healing. Healing is a lifestyle. And when you be naive, it kind of makes me think like when you go through a process, you now understand what that process is like. And so now when other people are going through processes, whether that's your children, whether that's people around you, it's like instead of being so shocked, like, how is this happening? Like, don't be naive. Like you now have the responsibility to handle certain things because you are a healed version.
Let me just explain it this way. Healing journey is a spiritual journey. And the spiritual journey part of it is that I'm always being awakened.
Yeah.
Awakened to more of who I am. And then the more that I'm awakened to who I am, really who God made me to be. And I've always been it, you know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, I didn't know how to be aware of it. You know, I'm aware of myself. I'm aware of my idiosyncrasies. I'm aware of my triggers, as we talked about. I'm aware of what's inside of me. Just because I see it and I'm aware of it don't mean I have to let it show. But I'm aware. Before the healing journey, you let it show, you know what I'm saying? Then you probably did something, probably go to church or whatever, and you say, I can't be that no more. You know what I'm saying? But you're still that. You're still that freak that you were. You just know how to manage the freak. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But now you get to a point where the spiritual journey that you're on, it teaches you not only more about you, but about who Christ is and who your opponent is. So I cannot have a healing journey without being on a spiritual journey and dealing with the spiritual aspect of life, because spiritual is that there are enemies, there are opponents, there are devils, there are things that came to hit me in my emotions in the first place.
Right.
I just didn't know what the hell it was.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? I know how to call it out. I know how, particularly if you're getting teachings.
Correct.
And I'm talking about teachings here, Dunamis Woman. I can't substantiate anybody else's.
Right.
But realistically, because I know teaching the kingdom is not just teaching you a scripture, it's teaching for self-application. There's nothing and nowhere that I teach that I don't create a participatory setting so you can maintain your healing journey. It's amazing how you go to every setting, particularly school, and then you can ask questions. You know, you go to the job and you can ask your supervisor or your manager questions. But then you go to the church and you just got to take in and don't ask no questions about you. Tell me how to maintain what I already have learned about me and how to continue to apply the word to me, because what it takes for you, Ariel, is not what it takes for me.
Yeah. Now, is this phenomenon, I don't know if that's the best word to call it, but most people believe when they are walking in this new healed version of themselves and they are awakened, they understand things spiritually, that they cast away everyone that is not healed. It's like, I don't need those people in my life anymore.
No. Well, you know what? But maintaining my healing journey teaches me how to embrace those. Everyone.
Right.
First of all, it's going to cause your mind to not see judgment.
Yeah.
Because you're going to see you.
Yeah.
The beautiful part is, and I'm just speaking from a mother and daughter standpoint right now, but I can see it in the people God send me. I see me. I see it in the people I coach. I see why I had to go through it. I see what I'm going through, or I see what I have also overcome because of them. Does that make sense? But even in I'm just going to speak in our relationship as well as you, as well as Allison. The beautiful part is that I see me. So probably if I wasn't on this healing journey, some of the things that you do, I probably would knock the hell out of you, or I probably wouldn't like you.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? Because you'll never like seeing yourself. But the healing journey helps me to understand that's a part of her journey.
Yeah. Yeah.
It gives, while we're trying to work on patience, it gives me patience.
Yeah.
I think we're trying to work so much to obtain something that we just got to live a lifestyle of healing. You know, I was 30, what are you, 34?
33.
You're alive.
I'm maybe 33 for the next 30 years.
But I was that once. So how can I judge you or put you down when I had to go through my process? Because I never thought I was going to get to 60. I never thought I was going to get here. And if I did, how? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
How? But now I look back at it and I'm like, if I grew out of this, you're going to grow out of it.
Yeah. Hey, you have been watching the Healing for My Soul podcast, but guess what? We want to see you live in person. Not only is this a movement, but we are hosting our Healing for My Soul live
in 2025.
Yes.
So you got time to prepare to join us in person, you all, because it's going to go down. Ariel, tell them a little bit more.
All you got to do is go to that link down below, www.healingformysoullive.com, and get registered. Bring your friends, your church friends, your family, whoever you want to bring to this Healing for My Soul live event, because it's going to be amazing.
And guess what? Men are invited too. So you don't have to roll alone. Yeah. If you breathing and you're a human being, join us live in 2025.
And the reason why I say that is because many people try to dismiss other people in their life. And I think I said that in a previous season about how, God doesn't take you through this process of healing and growing and developing for you to think that now you're not going to be used to impact people who are also hurting, right? And be able to see and understand. And so it baffles people's mind because they're like, if I'm healed, then I'm only going to meet healed people. I'm only going to be around healed people. And that's not,
that's
not the
mindset. So I
mindset.
can show the healing power of God.
Correct.
I can exemplify the healing power of God. That even when you don't, when you don't deserve my love, I'm giving it to you because I understand love.
That's like, can I mention the movie?
Oh, Lord. Go ahead.
Well, you had us watch it, but I just watched it again. The Shack.
The Shack, yeah.
And it was, while they were working on the big thing that stood out when he was like, they were like, you've been judging people your entire life.
Your entire life.
You've been judging people your entire life. So you're not going to judge. And he made him judge, his children. But I think in all of that of working on his lack of forgiveness and the whole key thing was like, they were showing him that this is your healing, right? We can't take you through these healing processes of forgiving the person that caused murder and death in your life, that now you got to go through this healing, but then you also got to judge less.
Yes.
You got to forgive. You got to start seeing the way that God sees people as a soul.
Everything.
And the good and evil works together.
Good and evil works together.
Yeah.
That's a phenomenal example of what we're talking about. See, and if you haven't watched the movie, watch the movie The Shack. It is actually on YouTube, okay? But it was good, though, because when you are in a damaged place, emotionally, you judge.
Yeah.
When I say judge, you judge to the point where you're condemning the person.
Yeah.
You're criticizing everything they do, and you're fault finding.
And I love when they said, and I feel like this is maintaining the healed you as well, when they said good and evil comes because everyone's trying to be God. And I feel like when I was broken in some areas, I was trying to be God in areas to fix me. I was trying to be God to fix other people. But the healed version and the healing version of me, the new awakening version of me, helps me rest to understand I don't have to be God.
No.
If God could do this work in me, then he can surely do this work in you. He can surely do this work in all of us. Like I don't have to play him anymore. Because
we have this psychological fixation of what evil really is. And we have it of what good really is. Typically, you good as long as I get what I want.
Yeah.
And evil, that could still be evil. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because I'm doing it, or someone can be doing it only to get what they want out of manipulation that's going to injure you. And we have this fixation that evil is this devil with a pitchfork, and that he looks like it, but it could be the most subtle, beautiful, charming person. And evil is behind it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So evil literally means injury. So when I'm healed and steadily going through my process and maintaining it, inevitably evil is going to come. But it's not the fact that it injures me. How do I respond to the injury? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because even in Luke 6, I believe it's 27 or 28, when he says, when they slap you, turn the other cheek. Now, that's not a literal. Does that make sense? And it could be. But really what Jesus is talking about, as it was captured by Luke, is the fact that when someone injure you, respond out of your wholeness.
Correct.
When they hit your pain or your trigger that you could respond the same way, evil, now respond with your wholeness. Respond with the part of you that not only has been healed, but is maintaining your healing. Does that make sense? That's what a work is.
Yeah.
That's why I said how to maintain your healing. You got to know how to apply his word from a kingdom perspective and with practicality and with simplicity.
Yeah. Because now you have to, what I always say is live his word. I always talk about, there's some people who like Jesus. Okay, you're going through your process. I like you. You cool, right? Then there's some people who develop even the more they go through some process, and they love Jesus. They love what Jesus is doing to them, the healing. But then there's a certain level of maturity where I'm now like living like Jesus, where I have to live his word no matter how I feel, no matter what the injuries that come up, like because I love the Lord that much, and I understand who he is in my life, now I'm also responsible to live this word out. And I think that requires a certain level of crushing to your flesh because we're still human.
But you can't do it without healing.
No.
You can't do it. That's why even I explained in the first episode about healing being a therapeutic process. And I even talked about it with Lisa as far as embracing your healing journey, because I don't give a crap how much you quoted. I don't care how much you got ordination papers and what your title is. You cannot respond without healing. I may do it once from a behavioral standpoint.
I feel like you're correcting me right now. Let me just turn my cheek the other way.
Maintain it. And we work so much to behave.
Yeah.
But the work is not really done on the inside.
Yeah.
Because when it's done on the inside, it's a pleasing pleasure for me to love the hell out of you. Not because I love you, but because of the Christ on the inside of me. I see his principles working. In spite of how I feel, keyword feel, I see the principles working.
Yeah.
Oh, I could cuss you out. I could do that like 40 going north. But it's easier for me to cause you to experience something which is called genuine love.
Yeah.
Because at this point, you're not warranted of it.
That's where the real healing work is. Like to maintain and not cause recidivism to go back. Like that's where.
And he will put you in matters and situations
intentionally
for you to exemplify that for him.
Yeah.
For him. I'm a living witness to that.
Yeah.
While you're trying to get everything for yourself, he never promised you that everything was going to be good for you, but it sure is good to you.
Yeah. But let's see. I know it sounds like an ironic question, but what is the beauty in living like that?
I can only speak for me. The beauty of it is seeing I get a kick out of seeing people that he gives me to administer that experience something that they never have experienced before.
It's a certain kind of
and even with the man I'm married to, it's a beautiful thing because it makes him think. He's like, oh, I got to process that.
Yeah,
he may take him 5 days. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not asking you to process it because it hit. Where he wanted to injure, I hit him back with love.
Yeah.
And I also spoke to him with kindness because I know I could have said some things.
Yeah.
But I'm coming with my words skillfully.
Yeah.
I'm coming with my words out of my wholeness. You know what I'm saying? And it makes him have to absorb it and process it, not in his head, because it hit his heart.
Because it's really seeing, and that's why we're on this Healing for My Soul movement, because it's really seeing the miraculous healing power of God at work. Like you always say, what is it for you to believe when you don't see the manifestation of what you believe? What is it for you to heal when you don't see the manifestation of your healing? What is it for you to, grow and want to see God work a miracle in your life when you don't see the manifestation of that? And when you can exemplify that kind of posture, that kind of behavior, that kind of love for other people who don't believe, for other people who are still hurting, to see something like, wow. I mean, and I think that's why I asked you, because some people have to sit back because that's selfless. Hey, sis. So I know you're listening to this powerful episode, but let me tell you, there are so many other women that you need to connect with. And this is why I want to invite you to join our Healing for My Soul community. Yes, other women who are on this healing journey that you can be able to learn from, grow from, share your wounds with, share your wins with as you're on your healing journey. So connect to our community just by texting podcast. That's PODCAST. Text podcast to 404-737-0580 and get connected with us, and you'll get all the information on how to join our community. Again, that's podcast at 404-737-0580. Now let's get back to the episode.
Yeah, but then now I don't want you to, I'm not going to come on here ever making anyone think that this is all hunky-dory.
No.
Because at the end of the day, even his injuries have showed me how I got to continue some more work.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Which makes me now not mad, but glad. See, if that don't make sense, because if it wasn't for that evil, I wouldn't know how much more I need to grow.
Yeah.
So I have deterred off of my journey and said, mofo, do you know? Does that make, I'm so serious.
So it's okay to deter. Just for a little bit.
Yeah, deter. Sometimes you got to deter.
You got to remind people.
But it's not even about reminding them. Sometimes you got to stop being on this path of perfection.
Well, even for yourself, because I think sometimes we have amnesia. And we believe that part of you is no longer there, right? You amnesia.
But I'm talking about I could say mofo to express, to get you to think, or I could say it to be derogative.
Yeah, to cut.
So when it cut from that part, it let me know, okay, Devetta, don't condemn yourself. Don't even sweat. Feel what you were feeling and get the work done. This is why Jimmy was on here.
Why you don't say that to me? Ariel, don't condemn yourself.
I do tell you that. I said, take it behind the therapy.
No, you
call your therapist.
No, you don't.
I did that with your father. How you think you got him on the podcast?
Okay.
Right. You see what I'm saying? But because you really gotta talk to maintain it. Sometimes you gotta talk to yourself. But we'll go into a funk or condemning ourselves or kicking ourselves because we now, this healing journey, we think we gotta be Miss Perfect and altogether lovely.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It's gonna keep showing you yourself. You know what I'm saying?
One thing I do wanna put out there, because I do see it a lot. And I want to get your opinion on this, because sometimes when people believe that they have went through a process of healing and their eyes have been awakened, they try to take other people through their process or rush other people through their process, or now examine people to say, you need to heal, or you need to do this, or you need to do that. It's kind of a little bit like that judgment, but you almost become the people's therapist, or you're pointing out certain things. And I want you to speak to that, because I think a lot of women who are on that healing journey, and I think sometimes it comes from a good place. You want it so bad for somebody else.
But you gotta, I get that a lot.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? I hear that a lot.
Yeah, that's why I'm bringing it up.
I hear it a lot.
I know you hear it a lot.
And now that's called, I want to control your process.
Yeah.
Everybody have their process. Even for you to get to your first step of healing, you had to go through that process to get to that step. Just like I had said to Lisa on her episode, things had to blow the hell up. You know what I'm saying? Because it was a part of her process. She just didn't know that she was on her journey.
Yeah.
Until it blew up, only to get her onto the journey of being cognizant that I'm on the journey. So I don't care how a person is, that's still their process. I like to look at it like this. They're working on their testimony. You wasn't always where you are. I wasn't always where I am. But he kept me and brought me through, which was still a process. Yeah. Stop trying to spoon feed, force feed people to be on your step.
Correct.
Everybody got to start off crawling. And some people don't even start crawling like a baby. You got to carry them.
Yeah.
But we, from a religiosity standpoint, we have been taught, make a person do how you want them to do. You need Jesus. You need this. Leave folks alone and just exemplify the love. And now people will say, just like at Dunamis Woman, as I was talking to Jimmy, he spoke at the Real Authoritative Men Conference. They didn't come because they're a man. They came because they saw their wife or their mother or their sister. Like, who are you?
Yeah.
Where are you going? Because they know they would have packed their stuff out. Yeah. They know coming home at 4:00 in the morning and seeing hotel receipts and know it was another woman and you didn't pack my bags and put my stuff out on the step. What is happening with you? Like one husband told me when I was coaching him because his wife been here. He said, Mama D, I don't know who the hell she is anymore. Because she wasn't forcing him. She was just exemplifying.
Yeah.
Exemplifying kindness. Now, bring your stuff to me. Does that make sense? Your feeling, your anger, your frustration, because that's the beautiful part about coaching. But he saw the love of Christ. That's all he needed to see.
And I think that is a very key nugget to maintain you, because I think oftentimes it's like you leave out the doctor's office and you think, okay, I'm all good. But sometimes you do need someone to bring those injuries back to, because it's only so much that humanly we can take, right? We're still going to get hits. We're still going to get, it's going to be just trials and relationships. And I think having that person in that corner, such as yourself, to be able to take those things too, is like, even when I mess up, maybe to some degree, I'm like, okay, before I go and dig this into a deeper hole, let me call her real quick.
Right.
Because I want to maintain this because you've
already digged the hole, but you just don't want to dig a deeper hole.
I want to dig deeper. Because truthfully, people are always looking for, see, I thought you was one way and clearly you're not. And you do get the judgment.
Yeah.
Because they're looking for a way to condemn you. Like I thought you was a healed woman. And now you're not, right? Or whatever the case may be, because we're still human at the end of the day. But I think when you have that person that you can lean and bounce back to, and you can be able to say, hey, I'm having my human moments. I'm having some different things that's happening. I need to process this, right? I think it just helps you. It's like...
And it does. And even for myself, even when I was like, okay, mofo, you know what I'm saying? I had to go back and say, you know what? That was not right of me.
Yeah.
See, I could take ownership. You see what I'm saying? Rather they accept my apology or not, it's my responsibility to take ownership and bring enlightenment, not to justify it, but to say, my bad. I got to take responsibility for that. At the end of the day, I got work to do. I'm not going to go into all that, but I apologize. Does that make sense? Because sometimes when you explain so much, you're trying to make somebody think something about you that you still got some work to do. And that's my responsibility to walk away. And however that is, which is why Coach Jimmy was here, Pastor Jimmy, you know what I'm saying? I need to work on that. See, the beautiful part about maintaining this healing journey when, like I'm going to use Lisa. She was on here, so you all know. Lisa, from a coaching perspective, she had liberty to call me anytime. I would talk to her, okay, what's going on now? What's happening now? What's happening this? Because she was in the process of it. Does that make sense? She was on the journey. She was now trying to find herself. So sometimes you got to just have somebody you could touch bases with because of those triggers. You see what I'm saying? Now she's built up. She's still on the journey, but I have to call her and say, you okay? You know, just check in with her, you know, but she also know that when she calls me, she can call me, shall I say, if it's just once every month. Okay, I need to process this. Sometimes I don't talk to her for 2 months, one-on-one. Does that make sense? Okay, I need to process this because when you get built up, you know yourself.
Yeah.
You know yourself. You know how to respond. You know how to take responsibility. You know how to process those things from within. Does that make sense? And then true enough, she's committed to kingdom teachings. She committed to our coaching institute. She committed to self-application. So she know how to take the word and work it.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? But before, for 2-3 years, 4 o'clock in the morning, okay, this is going on. Agony. Does that make sense? Get a text message. Oh my God, how do I want to just go off. You know what I'm saying? So I had to bring her to a place. Okay, don't say this way, use these words. And then she would process her feelings. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, she wanted to win the soul.
Yeah.
And that's why she's Lisa White now. That's why she's remarried to the same man now, because it taught her not how to just process, but what to properly say to win the soul.
Yeah. So I know you are listening to this episode on YouTube, but there are so many podcasters that are listening on Apple and Spotify. And so what I want you to do is make sure you go over there and write a really good review. I want to hear, what are you getting out of these episodes? We read them, we see them, we comment. So make sure you go over to Apple and Spotify and leave a review for us so that we can be able to hear your heart and where you are. Now, let's get back to the episode. And you teach us that all the time, that, you know, we're here to, I ask them, I said, what do you all think that Dunamis Woman stands for? And, you know, I thought they were all going to say fighting for our legacy, our men, ourselves. But the first thing was like, to win souls. I was like, well, at least y'all got this kind of right, right?
Yeah.
Because you always say, you know, if you're not, like, we're here to win souls, you know what I'm saying? And not so that no soul goes to hell. It's not win husband, not win that man to be your man. Like, it's winning souls.
And the first thing I had to help her to understand, in spite of her pain, in spite of her hurt, in spite of the betrayal, in spite of the divorce, in spite of the injuries, he's a damaged soul. Yeah. Do you love him enough not to reconcile with the husband, but to win the soul of a man who is the father of your children? Because what he does impacts his seed. What you do impacts his seed. See, when you look at it from those lenses, you be like, oh yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because this is why we're having vicious cycles, generation to generation to generation to generation. Look at it. We can see it.
Yeah.
And I'm not moved by, you know, it's even, I'm not moved by when Allison had Christina, beautiful. And I could say for Genesis too, but Christina, oh, she's so wonderful. She's so beautiful. I ain't moved by that.
Yeah.
I ain't moved by the baby magic. I ain't moved by all that. Why? Because I'm seeing the soul. Mm-hmm. I'm seeing that she's going to grow. I'm seeing she's going to develop. But also that, what is she going to encounter? Mm. Who is she going to encounter? It may be 20 years. It may be 30 years. It may be 5 years. I don't know. But I do know I'm not stupid, nor am I naive. You look wonderful. You're beautiful, Ariel. 33, 34, whatever number you want to believe. You know what I'm saying? But my goal is to prepare you for who you may encounter. And whatever you may experience in life, that you are healed, but not only healed that you're done, but you know how to respond.
Yeah.
And not react.
That's so key.
And that is very, very key.
Yeah, I mean, I would definitely want y'all to comment down below, you know, win souls, because there's so many nuggets that you dropped in here. You know, maintain the healed you is one, understanding the spiritual awakening, that there's good and evil, right? Understanding how to exemplify the love of Christ, right? Which goes back to that winning souls in that aspect, and seeing someone else see the miracle, right, of your healing power, of your love, because they have to go through their process. And like you said, not rushing them through their process, not spoon feeding them to get caught up to where you are, but knowing that they have a testimony and God is still working that testimony in them. And that, I mean, I feel like this was maybe an episode some people probably taking some notes because
right.
It really is so important, because it's like another layer of how you have to live your life. Yeah. It's another layer of a lifestyle. And I do always want to say, and it's not to be fearful or scary, but like we said in the beginning, recidivism can take place. If
you don't continue the work, recidivism, that means going backwards, is inevitable.
Yeah.
It's just like if you are in Alcohol Anonymous.
Yeah.
They teach you got to keep doing the work. If not, you can go back to drinking. Yeah. I don't understand why we can't apply that to our belief in who we are and emotional healing. It works the same way. Recidivism. But I want every last one of you all to understand and to know that winning souls is all about winning you.
Yeah.
When I win another soul, I won another part of me. When I get another soul, I win another part of me. When that person becomes spiritually awakened, spiritually aware of themselves, I have awakened and became aware of another aspect of me.
Yeah.
If that's how you got to look at it, because that's the truth, it will give you more fortitude. It will give you more of an adamacy that I can't stop, because the only thing you're going to attract is you.
Yeah. And the enemy wants your soul.
Oh, yeah. But because I got to do the work.
Yeah.
Because I mean, you're going to attract you. Yeah. You're going to attract aspects of your father, whoever you are, you're going to attract you. Yeah. It's the matter of seeing it.
Yeah.
And if you don't get it, they going to get it. Does that make sense?
No, it does.
All right.
It does. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this last episode as we wrapped up this season of the Healing for My Soul podcast. As you always know, comment down below and let us know your takeaway. And definitely stay connected with us on this journey and draw closer. We love you.
Yes, we do.
And we love your support.
Yes.
And we cannot wait to connect with you. Have a good one.
Have a good one. I hope everybody who watched this particular season got a greater understanding of emotional healing and how vital it is for our emotions to be tended to, our emotions to be needed, KNEADED, and our emotions to be able to feel again. It's okay to cry. It's okay to be angry. It's okay to be pissed. It's okay to feel love. It's okay not to, but feel it.
Yeah.
That's what I want everybody to get out of. Get in touch with your emotions and embrace it all.
Yeah. I think, this episode really, or this season, established really the work that we do here. I think the first season and the first two was letting people see the family dynamics. And I always said, if you can't address this with your family, live it through our family, right? Because at least it creates conversations. And I was even with my hairstylist, and she was like having issues with her sister, and so she was watching the episode with me, and she was like, "She said that," I said, see, you're not able to sit down with your sister, but you can process this. But I feel like this season is for her to sit down and now process you. Right? Not the family dynamics, but process me, the type of woman that I want to become, the type of woman that I desire and aspire. And I hope that this season really did that for people, because it's not just about people around you, your siblings, your family. Now this is you taking full responsibility for you. And that's really what I wanted this season to be, is like, now I got to do the work.
You got to do the work. That's it.